Hey everyone, welcome back to my relaxed Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous Azata playthrough. And we have finished Act 2. So now we're in the beginning stages of Act 3 and we have secured Drezen. This is going to be our new home base where it was the Defender's Heart and then it was the campsite that was moving around with us on the Crusade. And now it is this sometimes irritatingly big area with which we have all our even more traders than before. Still got Will Sagarms, and all our companions are dotted around, as well as other interesting characters. So this time we're going to just, I think, do some house management stuff. We're going to go and talk with everybody, get started on some of the quests that we've been given in this home area. We're going to level up. But first, I just wanted to have a look at the gear that we've got. So we were given this Ring of Protection +4 by Queen Galfrey for doing the Crusades quick enough, which I didn't think we were going to get, but we're definitely going to give that to Nest. I'm also going to swap out... this just gives us +2 Dexterity, whereas this gives us Dexterity and Constitution, which is not a bad thing to have a little bit more health. We'll also give her the Amulet of Natural Armor +3. And... we've got lesser braces of archery. So yeah, I'll definitely give that to Arueshalae. I took off Land's belt and gave it to her, so she has a bonus to strength as well as dexterity now. But we'll give her the braces of archery. She's going to be our ranged attacker for now. Well, for indefinitely, I think. We might as well give Nest the Headband of Mental Flow. I mean, we don't use Charisma, but there's not really a character that uses both Charisma and Intelligence, is there? I don't think there's a class that really would use Intelligence and Charisma. I guess we could give it to Darren, so he has a buff to his Charisma rather than just the Channel Energy thing, but I'm happy with giving it to just Nest for now. We'll also give her the Cloak of Resistance 3, so she has all the best gear possible. And well, there's plenty of other things here we can look at. We've got Amulet of Mighty Fists, Amulet of Agile Fists, which I'm still not really... So you need to have the Weapon Finesse feat, but I don't really think there's anybody that needs that. Unless I'm mistaken with how... I'm not sure if... Because Land's a monk, which means his attacks would generally be unarmed, count as unarmed. But he's a Zen Archer monk, which means he uses a bow. So I'm not sure if that counts. We'll give Ember the Dexterity belt. It's handy for her. Or we could give it to Darren, actually, seeing as he is finesse wielding. Let's just see if we got... Yeah, we've got finesse wielding, we've got 2 weapon fighting. Actually, yeah, we'll give it to Darren then. Sorry, Ember. And the... we'll just hold on to the rest of this stuff for now. We'll give him the Cloak of Cleansing, why not? Actually, maybe we should give his dog the Cloak of Cleansing. But let's just we'll do level up for now. We've got so much gear to sift through. I'm going to go and sell all of this today as well. All the stuff we picked up during the assault on Drezen. Level 10's a fairly boring level for the Sword Saint. And yeah, I have decided we're just going to stick with using just a pure Sword Saint build rather than doing the Duelist one. It's definitely weaker, but we're on normal, so it's not the end of the world for us. We don't really need more points in Trickery now because we've got Arueshalae covering that for us. Let's just put some points into Stealth, so if we want to try and sneak around, we're a little bit better. We do get level 4 spells, though, now. That's not anything to sniff at. Although I don't know how many good level 4 spells there are for us. Shield of Dawn looks okay. It's like an okay buff. Arcana Theft. This spell functions as a targeted dispel magic spell, except it only affects creatures and it requires a melee touch attack. Oh, that might be okay. If the melee touch attack is successful and the spell successfully dispels one spell affecting the target, that spell is instead transferred to you. Yeah, let's take that one. That sounds somewhat interesting. And we'll take invisibility greater as well. Basically means that you're invisible, but it doesn't go away when you attack. Those both seem pretty good for Nest, I think. Although we only have one spell slot at the moment, so we'll just do that one. And we also have all of our Azata spells, but at the moment they're nothing really that exciting. Let's level up Darren. Yeah, he also has a fairly simple level up. You can get Persuasion, Knowledge World and Knowledge Arcana. And then a level 5 spell. Life Bubble. That sounds alright. Righteous Might. Your height immediately doubles. Your weight increases by a factor of 8. This increases your size category. Well, True Seeing seems pretty... Oh no, it's not that good. Oh, Angelic Aspect. I think that's definitely what's a good one to take. You take on an aspect of an angelic being, including some of its physical characteristics. You gain resistance to acid and cold for 10, and damage resistance 5 against evil. You also gain a +2 defection bonus to AC and a +2 resistance bonus on saves against weapons or effects made by evil creatures, which is basically everything we fight. In addition, your natural weapons and any weapons you wield are considered good aligned. Yeah, I think Angelic Aspect's the best thing to go for. I'll just check if there's anything better. The guide I see suggests Burst of Glory. Let's look at that one. Allies in the area of this spell at the time of casting gain +1 sacred bonus on attack rolls and saves against fear effects, and then temporary hit points. I think I'd rather have Angelic Aspect. Burst of Glory does sound pretty good though. The temporary hit points is pretty nice. I guess a +1 sacred bonus on attack rolls isn't bad either, but... No, we'll go Angelic Aspect. And then his dog. It's always easy. Quick and easy. That's what we like. Ember. You get another hex at this level, which is nice. Well, let me just check that, because we are going to do a little bit of dual classing with Ember. Oh, okay. Good thing I checked, because we can actually do Lawmaster. I think that's what we're meant to do now. Yeah, Lawmaster, there you go. The Lawmaster is a gatherer and keeper of secrets. He is often obsessed by the written word, with cryptic and arcane lore serving as his devoted mistress. Holding to the adage that knowledge is power, the Lawmaster often forsakes material wealth and personal glory for rare and unusual information. An endless quest that brings him ever closer to his unattainable goal, perfection through edification. Often rejecting what he views as the pointless affectations and transitory pleasures of his short-sighted neighbours, the Lawmaster believes that the only worthwhile goal in life is the acquisition of intellectual might. I mean, this feels like it fits Nenio more, but that's fine. And then, yeah, we'll give her the same skills we've been giving her up till now. Law, religion. Darren's still the best at persuasion, isn't he? We can give her persuasion too. Take the spell book. Then we get a secret. So we can get extra feet. And so you can take spells from different spell books, I think is the idea. But that's too much choice for me to sift through right now. What is the okay. Oh yeah, no, I did know about this. So we're gonna go cleric, spell, witch, and then take greater command. If I can find it. I can't find the That's well, there's normal command. Why can't we get greater command? The guide I'm following says that we should be able to get greater command, but without... Because command just affects one person, so it's not that good, whereas greater command is a mass thing. It affects everybody. Which is much more effective. Basically means everyone just stops in their tracks, which is very nice. But just being able to do that to one person is not that nice. Have I done something wrong in the building of her that's for some reason preventing this, or have they maybe changed it since the guide was made? Maybe they've changed it? That's annoying. That is slightly irritating. We don't need any rogue. Maybe it's a wizard spell? We could give her a haste. I mean, we wouldn't have to do it with Nest, and she'd be able to do it a lot more times. That might be the play if we can't get greater command. Although this whole build is built off her having greater command. Hold on, I'm just gonna look into this a bit. Okay, after after doing a bit of research, it seems like there's been a patch which means you actually have to wait till level 11. So I'm just gonna swap over level 10 and level 11 in my in the guide that I'm following. And so we'll do Lawmaster at level 11, and then we can get the command, greater command. For our spells, we could give her protective luck. That is good. Within 30 feet of one round, whenever a creature is targeted by an attack roll, the attacker must roll twice and take the worst result. or Beast Gift. The witch can use their magic to grant our allies ferocious animal abilities. The witch can partially transform a willing ally, granting him natural attacks for a number of minutes equal to the witch's level. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Getting a natural attack is nice. So we'll do that. And then for the spells, level 5 spells, we don't have any level 5 spells. Feeble Mind, the target's creature intelligence and or Mind Fog. Mind Fog produces a bank of thin mist that weakens the mental resistance of those caught in it. I don't want to risk things that affect our allies. I don't think. Oh, we'll go Feeble Mind. Creature that casts Arcana spells takes a -4 penalty on saving throws. Yeah, we'll go Feeble Mind. I don't know how much we'll use it, but or Cloud Kill. The spell generates a bank of fog. These vapors automatically kill any living creature with 3. That seems risky. So yeah, we'll go Feeble Mind. That's Actually, we're going Mind Fog. Okay. Sorry that took so long. Just had to check I was doing things right. Ulbrig, you're always easy to level up. I like that. Just take all the same things we normally do. As normal, I'll do characters that we aren't using. I'll do them off screen because we can already see how long this is taking. Yeah, trickery and stealth, Arueshalae, definitely. Perception, definitely. We're not going to bother trying to catch you up on persuasion because you wouldn't even make catch up anyway. We'll do mobility, knowledge, arcana. Oh, you've got loads of skill points you can use. Yeah, why not knowledge world? Then for a combat style feat, what shall we do? Well, we'll do improved critical actually. We'll do improved critical longbow. Add another favoured enemy, Demons of Strength. So the favoured enemy is that's what makes part of this class so strong, is that you can select certain types of creatures and get bonuses to your attack rolls, and because in this game we know we're fighting loads of demons basically through most of the game, it makes a ton of sense to go with demons because she's just so good at them. She also already comes with favoured enemy humans, so that covers a lot of the cultists as well. And then we'll just continue through Demons of Magic. Complete. And yeah, I think that's everybody. Well, I guess apart from Sealer, because Sealer's still sitting in for us, isn't she? Let's do this quickly. Well, yeah, I'll do religion. Yeah, our skills aren't really that useful for us, are they? Feet, we'll do weapon focused longsword. So that's what we're having her use. And we've had a lot of problems with exhaustion, so we'll have her have that for lay on hands. Oh, she's got 2 level ups. Fair enough. Let's have your law religion go up and your knowledge world. And then for a mythic ability, which we haven't done. Maybe leading strike. Yeah, we'll do leading strike. Every time you hit a target in melee combat, you leave a mark on it. Any ally attacking the marked target deals additional divine damage per your mythic rank. So that's useful. Okay. That's enough with leveling for now. Is there any more gear stuff we wanted to do? I might do a lot of this off camera. Although we can give Ivu some stuff. We'll give Ivu the Amulet of Natural Armor. We could give her... we'll give her this for extra... what does these do? Yeah, Cloak of Resistance +1. Or actually, maybe, does she have the Weapon Finesse feat? Because if she does, Agile... Oh, it doesn't look like it. She has a lot of feats though, doesn't she? It doesn't look like it, but we giving her... Yeah, we'll give her the Amulet of Mighty Fists, because we can always improve natural armor with spells. And then the natural armor +2, maybe we can... No, we'll just got that. Fenris? Yeah, we'll give that to you. And Darren, you can have that. There's always so much gear stuff to do, isn't there? And animals can't wear rings, so that's not useful. We'll bump that up to a ring of protection +2. Oh, okay, I won't, actually we'll give Nenio that ring while I remember, because it's basically meant for her. And you can have the Headband of Intelligence too, because no one else is geared around intelligence. Okay, that's enough gear stuff for now. I might do more off screen, but come on, Ivy, let's go look around. Surely plenty of people to talk to. Ivy's so cute. I like the little kind of butterfly wing effects as well. It's very Desna's inspired. And as you can see, we are now surrounded by glowing butterflies. As a part of our being an Azata now, or at least on the journey to being a proper Azata. I don't think we're actually a true one now. I think we just have randomly animals following us around as well. We're very Snow White, I guess. Even with the white hair. Although Snow White has black hair, doesn't she? If I remember correctly. A jewelry trader. Okay, so this is where we can just bulk buy all this sort of thing. Oh, there's loads here. Goggles of Pure Sight. These goggles allow the wearer to take 20 on their next dispel magic attempt. My Master's Eyes. These glasses increase the save DC of enchantment spells. So yeah, any sort of kind of rings of +1, all that sort of thing we can get here. The ring grants the wearer a +5 competence bonus on persuasion checks. Oh, we should give that to Darren, if we can. So at this point you don't necessarily have to worry about finding that sort of stuff. Although it does still save you resources if you can find it. An arcane weaver. This person does cloaks and clothes, it looks like. Oh, that's a +5 cloak. And saving throws against demons and +5 on more religion skill checks. That's okay. Gloves of the Ambassador, lesser gloves of dueling. These gloves grant their weapon a +1 bonus to combat against disarm attempts. If we were going to dual class into the dueling, into the duelist class, I think those would probably be pretty good. And we've got some clothes. Whenever the wearer uses divine power to... not really using that sort of thing, are we? Okay. But it's all good, worth keeping in mind the amount of resources you have open to you at this point in the game. It's definitely the best point to build up your character's gear. And maybe I'll do that off screen at some point. Because again, I take ages. I take ages looking through all this sort of thing. I get my brain slows down. Price in descending order. Do you have any an S stock at all? Just a standard S stock. That's fine. So this person has exotic weapons. Will sir. What can I do for you? Are you going to manage the fortress now? No way, Commander. The quartermaster throws up his hands. Not in a million years. I can manage an expedition just fine, but running a fortress is a different kettle of fish. That's enough work to make a man's head explode. Which is why they sent us an expert from Nerosian. Her name is Dorgan Linda. Dorgan Linda Stranglehold. I've seen how she handles things. She knows what she's about, that one. Iomedae bless her. She'll be managing the fortress, and I'll keep taking care of the soldiers, just like I've been doing. Do you have better gear available now? Oh, Nimble Edge. Oh, I think... Did we sell him that one? Oh, no, I have looked at that one before. It's just a plus speed one. Right, we're going to offload some of the junk that we've got. Sell all that. Sell all these weapons. Watch the money flow in. 17,000 just for the weapons. Oh, we're rich now. Yeah, sell the just standard armor. And sell those two. Sell the full plate. And, yeah, sell the mithril chain shirts. We'll just do that for now. 13,000, another 13,000 there. We are rolling in dough. It's lovely. I wonder if the storyteller's going to come back anytime soon, because we've definitely got stuff we can show him. Right, let's come over this way. Yeah, I will say the one downside about Drezen is it's a bit too big for convenient maneuver. Camp was a lot smaller, and the defender's heart was even better in terms of size. Maybe if it just let you go in the reinvigorate the land. Okay, I think this might be an Azata unique thing. So we're connected to nature. Oh. There you go, Ivo. It's not all grey now. Oh yeah, this area over here. Well, I won't spoil it actually. We'll figure out. We'll see what that's going to be about in a bit. Right. Oh yeah, there's like multiple levels, isn't there? Okay, let's go over this way. The other way around. Because yeah, there's like multiple levels, and then there's everyone's all spread out in their own unique place.
Precisely.
Yeah, jewelry trader, arcane weavers. Peasant, citizens... Darren. Hey, Darren. You know what? Darren asks, not bothering to greet you properly. I've noticed a certain cyclical pattern in my life ever since I met you. First something happens that leaves me positively intrigued, then I descend into the depths of fear and anger, then I start to think that it's not so bad, the curiosity comes back, and then something even more dreadful occurs. The demons attacking my home, and the city around it, was unpleasant enough already, but I thought I could compensate for that by striking up a curious acquaintance and having some new experiences. Then my dearest cousin threw me right into the middle of a crusade, and just when I started to see some positives in my current situation, the gargoyles kidnapped me. The slaughter in Drezen following my triumphant rescue effectively put out every spark of optimism that I had managed to gather. Now the city is in our hands again, and it's getting more and more tolerable to stay here. I feel surprisingly good, and I'm even beginning to find the city rather enjoyable. This brings one very reasonable question to mind. What is the next outrageous and dangerous mess you're going to pull me into? I have a couple more perilous trials and insurmountable challenges in store just for you. Does this list include the ordeal known as the Trial of the Cold Oatmeal? If not, then there's nothing to be afraid of. And if you think I've just shown you my weak spot, then you are wrong. It was deliberate misinformation. That's all? Okay, goodbye.
Always watch your back.
Oh, there's a house. Let's go inside. You never know where there may be things to steal. Not steal, loot, sorry. Is this going to give me a skill? Nope. I mean, all the writers in that wrote all these books, you definitely did a fantastic job. And maybe on different days I will read them, but there's enough to read in this game already. There's enough dialogue and everything else to read through without reading all the extra books. Plus, maybe, I guess if someone really wants to read the books, they can get the game themselves. Greetings. The neat smile on Camillia's lips disappears so quickly you almost wonder if you imagined it. There's nothing more that she doesn't want to say anything about being in Drezen. I won't keep you. Oh, I was about to say I thought Seela was around here, but it was Darren. My mistake. Should have known because it was a dog and not a horse. Oh, Ulbrig's all the way up there. Oh, okay. Let's go and chat with Ulbrig then. I didn't realise he was up here. Should have done that first. Come on, Ivu. Ulbrig. Well, War Chief, where to next? Nope, nothing more to say. That was a waste of time. Let's go down this way into the side over here. Is the storyteller anywhere around here? I thought the storyteller came back when you conquered Drezen. Maybe you will in a bit. I just have to be patient. I presume that in story a few kind of weeks or months has passed since we actually conquered the city, because they've repaired it very quickly otherwise. Seela. Good days and clear skies. What do you say? Where are we off to today? The fate of the League of the Cart affected you greatly. So you could say. I did what I thought was right. I tried to help a good person with their troubles. And what came of it? I'm sorry, but I won't find peace until I track down Curl and Jana. What were they thinking? Is there any way to get through to them? Or should I just admit I was terribly wrong? There's another thing that's worrying me. The way that people react to your power, and mine. They think that if we've been chosen by Iomade, they need to pray at our feet. I'm not comfortable with the younger warriors hanging on my every word. Sealer smiles sourly. I feel alone. Nobody else is going to sit with me and celebrate saving a beer cart. And I'd like to regain, if not the friendship, at least the trust of the other knights, especially those I respect and consider my friends, like Elan. Thank you for speaking with me. See ya. Anything going on in the barracks? Oh, there's Elan anyway. Elan of the Houndhearts. Oh, Commander, my regards. Not saying anything. Fair enough.
That's easy.
Outside. I mean, it's a little slow, but I honestly, these kind of moments of the game are sometimes some of my favourites, rather than being, you know, fighting through the streets with loads and loads of fairly easy battles. Just the calm before the storm kind of feeling that you get. Grave of Staunton Vane, traitor of the Crusades. Oh, they put him right here. I did tell him to bury him as a knight, so it makes sense, but I didn't expect it would be right in the middle. Arueshalae. Oh, yeah, we haven't done any talking to her yet. Arueshalae's ruby eyes stare watchfully at passers-by, who don't notice her even at arm's length. She turns to you, her face a mixture of contemplation, sadness, and admiration. They're amazing, aren't they? We are being attacked by demons with unusual powers. Do you know anything about them? Arueshalae thinks for a long while. Finally, she answers hesitantly. Back in Alushinira, there were rumours about terrible experiments that Baphomet and Discari performed on their troops to make them stronger. Here on the material plane, these rumours were embellished with lots of details. Some say the demons undergo rituals acquired from Zong Kuthon. Others say they feed on the blood of angels, or Quilopoths, or demon lords. Others say that there are no experiments, and Baphomet is just bringing back fighters from the future, a future in which the demons have already taken all of Golarion. Is there a grain of truth in any of these ramblings? There's no way to know. Naturally, none of these rumours give any indication of where these demons come from. I'm sorry I can't help. The only thing that's clear is that the lowly fighters in the army of the Abyss are as puzzled by this as we are. What are you doing here? I'm watching. She nods at the city dwellers as they hurry past. I'm listening to their conversations, studying their faces. I'm trying to understand what they truly are. Why do you like to people watch? Or why do you like to watch people? You know, in my old life, I thought I knew everything about them. I was a master of seduction after all. I knew how to tempt a mortal into doing anything I required. I could trap them in a lie or lie myself and never get caught. It's disgusting to remember, but that's what my life was for. That was my life for many centuries. Now I see I knew nothing. A demon warrior probably also considers himself an expert on mortals because he's killed so many of them. He certainly knows where to thrust the spear for a quick death, and where to thrust it for a long and painful one. And he thinks that's enough. My knowledge, it was of the same kind. I ruined many mortals without learning the first thing about them. Now I watch them to understand them. This won't give my victims back their lives, of course, but still, by growing closer to these mortals, it's like I'm paying back some part of my debt to my victims' memories. Have you learned anything new about mortals? They love cats. They love cats. Arueshalae speaks in a very serious manner, as if sharing an important scientific discovery with you. But then a moment later she smiles to give the joke away. I love cats. I've got a cat. So you're not far off. Seriously, have your observations of humans led to anything? I wouldn't want to draw any rash conclusions. I've only been watching them for a short while. But I think I have understood one thing. The succubi have a saying, mortals always lie. If a mortal isn't talking, it means she's busy lying to herself. But now I see this isn't true. You mortals aren't liars, you're dreamers. Each of you creates a huge daydream for yourself, and everyone you share your life with. It isn't exactly a lie, because the daydream is your truth. I guess we can... Don't you think you're being a little creepy? What? The succubus blinks, surprised. Really? Why? I don't mean any harm. I see. Let me ask you another question. Of course, but forgive me if I don't have any answers. Tell me about yourself. I'm afraid you won't like what I'm going to tell you. Where does succubi come from? Did you have a childhood? No. Well, yes, but in brief, the abyss is nothing like the mortal world. Arueshalae makes a gesture in the air, trying to find the right words. You remember life since conception? No. Wait, you don't remember that part, do you? But certainly you know everything since birth. We do not. Normally, when a human dies, the Lady of Graves decides which plane they go to. Most often, those who arrive in the abyss turn into larvae. You know, the little worms no one notices until you step on them. They crawl in the mud for centuries, devouring each other, and the strongest ones turn into demons. I don't know how that transformation happens. Maybe we hatch out of them, like caterpillars out of butterflies? Oh no, wait, it's the other way around. Or maybe greater demons sculpt us out of them, like so much clay? I don't know what happened to the lava that they used to make me. In my own memory, it begins with vague, fragmentary images. Terrors, executions, orgies. I remember some poor lad half gnawed by the lava. He was crying and begging to be killed, and I pointed at him and laughed, and said I wouldn't. Desna, forgive me, I'm so ashamed. How did you end up turning against the abyss? Temptation. Arueshalae smiles sadly. It's strange, isn't it? So many people believe that being good is important, but it's boring and unpleasant. And all that's enjoyable and tempting pertains to evil. Even the servants of kind gods often think so, do they not? You have no idea how easy that makes the role of a temptress. Well, it was my great fortune to discover that it's not always like that. Arueshalae looks away. My last victim was a priestess of Desna, the tender of dreams. As you know, demons do not sleep. Mortals always compare their greatest moments to dreams. So I decided it would be interesting to see for myself, and while I was at it, forgive me, goddess, to mock Desna. This priestess lay in my arms, dying of my kiss. I remember every smallest detail. The cold sweat on her skin, her eyes rolled back into her head, her weak whisper. It's so difficult to recount. Well, I dove into her mind to see what mortal dreams were like, but the goddess saw me in her realm, and it turned out I remained there far longer than I planned. What did Desna do to you? As a punishment, she gave me mercy. I often think, why me? She could easily have blown me away like smoke, with the flick of her finger. The gods rarely trouble themselves with the lives of mortals, and even less so with demons. But for reasons of her own, she paid me special attention. She awoke in me the memories of the sinners whose souls were used to create me. All those humans. I knew nothing of them until Desna showed me. Each of them had their own dreams, and a world without pity trampled each of them and placed them on a path that led to the abyss. Their memories, all their hopes and pain. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to talk about this. You see tears well up in the succubus's eyes. Arueshalae wipes away her tears and continues. The most important thing I realised was that every mortal is a little world of hopes and dreams, and that although I might be a succubus, I didn't have to live forever with those beastly, boring pleasures and tortures of the abyss. I can be free. I can be myself. If only I can understand who I am. Desna calls out to the best in people. If she gave you a chance, it means that there is something good deep inside you. She saw that you were not beyond salvation. I find that hard to believe. I remember what I was back then. It shames me to remember it. It frightens me to remember it. But the goddess is wise, isn't she? Wise and insightful. Among all the filth, garbage, sharp spikes and broken bones, amidst that nightmare that was my soul, or whatever demons have instead of a soul, she found a grain of goodness that, by some miracle, hadn't gotten lost there. A treasure inside me that I had no idea even existed. The demon presses her palm against her heart. It is still there. I can feel it. I must preserve it. Preserve it and cleanse myself of all the remaining filth. That won't be easy, but I can do it. After all, the goddess will help me, and you will too. You don't know who you are? What of you? Do you know who you are? Are there many mortals who can make that claim? Before returning me to the mortal realm, Desna whispered something to me. I can still hear her words. She asked me, "And what do you dream of?" And I don't know. I still don't. You see, demons are simple creatures. Arueshalae purses her lips. Each one is guided by 2 or 3 strong sins. Before my conversion, my sins were all I was. A ball of desire without anyone behind them doing the desiring. Desire for sex, for flattery, and food. But now I have me. And it's amazing, but it's so complicated. Arueshalae makes an apologetic gesture and smiles. What did you do after Desna converted you? I travelled. In the beginning, I thought it wise to keep away from demons and their temptations. Run off to Absalom, or perhaps even further, to another plane. But then I realised that I didn't deserve freedom yet. The abyss was still in me. It called to me, tempted me, and seduced me. If I ran away, I would soon return to my old habits. Arueshalae forces the word from her mouth. That's why I came here, to join the war, to remember who my enemy is, to defeat the demons, not just for the mortal world, but for myself as well, because if I don't kill my past, it will always be reaching for me. I'm a wonderful liar. I'm no longer proud of it, but it's still true. The demons never suspected my treason until the very end. I lived as a spy and regularly reported back to the priests of Desna whatever I learned. Naturally, I concealed my identity from them as well. I would never have been caught, but when I learned that Discari was planning an attack on Canabaris, there was no time for caution. I risked everything to warn you, and paid with my freedom. What the good or... Let's do chaotic. Amazing. The anarchy of the abyss was slavery for you, but you found freedom in the army. Well, I'm not exactly marching in the infantry, Arueshalae smiles. Your operations bear little resemblance to battles by the laws of warfare. So do you worship Desna now? The goddess did a lot for me, more than I ever deserved. Asking anything more of her would be impudent. I'm grateful to her, but I'm not trying to trouble her with my prayers. Thank you for your answers. I hope they didn't upset you too much, at least not as much as they upset me. May I ask you a personal question? The kind of a question a mortal might ask a succubus. You want to talk about sex? Arueshalae looks you in the eye. Ask me anything, I will not keep secrets from you, but don't expect to hear anything light-hearted or pleasant. The kiss of a succubus is deadly, isn't it? Not just the kiss. Any caress of any kind sucks the life from mortals, and there's nothing I can do about it. Arueshalae touches her lips ever so slightly. For mortals, tenderness is tenderness and violence is violence, but I don't know what it's like to kiss and not inflict pain. I just hope my observations of mortals will help me understand. Young lovers, old spouses, even what mortals condemn as promiscuity. To me it all looks like something amazingly human. Oh, we could. You know, a drop of vital energy is a small price to pay for your kiss. I don't know, that feels a bit insensitive, seeing as she's just saying how she kills people while doing it. Wait, you mean you don't just watch people during the day out in the street? Well, I never touch anyone. I never harm anyone. I just watch and listen. Is that bad? I mean, in real life, I do think you must respect others' privacy, but we'll go with the chaotic option. Nest is very carefree. Nah, it's not bad. Just don't get caught. Or we could say, let's just say they wouldn't be happy if they found out you were watching. Yeah, let's go with number 3. Let's just say they wouldn't be happy if they found out you were watching. Don't worry, they'll never find out. Don't forget, I'm a very good spy. What is sex between demons like? Everything demons do is a sort of cannibalism. Each devours mortals and other demons in their own way. Some enjoy literally tearing off pieces of flesh with their teeth. Others like to subdue and turn their prey into slaves and living tools. Some feed on others' humiliation. It comes in different forms, but the essence is always the same. Another being is an object to be used for your own pleasure. Demon sex doesn't differ from any other type of violence. In my former life, it was something I did to others, or others did to me. Only one person ever received pleasure, not the other. Do you still feel desire? Arueshalae keeps a long silence, as she searches for the right words. You see, on the one hand, my succubus nature remains with me. I feel the desire I feel is the one from my old life. When I look at any mortal, I immediately imagine how... She looks away. But that feeling, that desire, it's not what mortals feel. When you like someone, you don't ponder how good it would feel to drink their soul, do you? You think about how good it would feel to be together. Together, you see. You know how to want someone, and at the same time not want to destroy them? For me, it's always one and the same. True despair rings in Arueshalae's voice. I'm not even talking about love. Just the common mutual affection of mortals when they're not poisoned with violence. Now I know that I've never felt it. It's hard to imagine how it's even possible. We'll say it. You know, a drop of vital energy is a small price to pay for your kiss. Nest is always a flirt. Don't joke like that. For me, it's not a joke at all. Yeah, that's what I expected in response. I'm sorry, it wasn't meant to upset you. Never mind, just try not to tempt me. You know it's hard for me to control myself. Thank you for being so open. Arueshalae nods without saying a word. Tell me about life in the Abyss. I can't tell you about all of the Abyss. I've only seen a small part. If you like, I can tell you about the Midnight Isles and the Arueshalae. Tell me about the Midnight Isles. In the ocean of Ishiar, not far from the mouth of the river Styx, there's a chain of islands. This is the realm of Nocticula, the queen of the succubi. There is no sun there, only a moonlit night alternating with a moonless one. Each of the islands is one of Nocticula's trophies, the remains of a powerful entity that perished at her hands. As you can see, you cannot take a step in the abyss without treading on corpses. Tell me about Arueshalae. The Porphyry City is Nocticula's capital. There's no city like it in the mortal world. Absalom is a village in comparison. Millions, I don't exaggerate, millions of demons and mortals live there. Some come voluntarily, not only from Golarion, but from other planes as well. Nocticula keeps an open boundary and enjoys having many guests, merchants and travellers in the city. Some arrive in chains. The slave trade is the most thriving business in the city. From afar, the city may seem a merry place. Many of its dwellers do enjoy themselves, until it's their turn to become someone else's toy. It's a city of suffering, Nest. Of cheerful, festive torments that everyone in the city inflicts on those around them. What are some places of interest in Arueshalae? I'm planning a holiday. The heart of the business quarter is the flesh markets, where the slave trade takes place. I grew up in the mansion of the Lady Velexia. Her house is always full of guests doing their best to entertain her. Those whose performance is not to her liking risk remaining at her house forever. The main attraction of the succubi city is, of course, the brothels, the 10,000 delights. I need not tell you what they offer. If you can imagine it, someone is selling it. Not far from there you can find the Harem of Ardent Dreams, which serves as a sort of city hall. Shamira, Nocticula's right hand and mayor of Arueshalae, receives her visitors there. For those who prefer bloodier sport, there are many arenas in the city. The most famous of them is Battle Bliss. Battles run continuously, without breaks and without rules. It doesn't matter what trickery you use to win, it only matters how much fun the crowd is having. And above it all towers the House of Silken Shadows, Nocticula's palace. Hundreds, thousands of towers and domes adorned with jewels. There are legends of what happens inside. Many have striven to experience the delights of the Succubi Queen's palace, forgetting that it was built for her pleasure, not theirs. What can you tell me about Nocticula? She's called the Lady in Shadow. They say that she was the first succubus. She's far from the most powerful of the demon lords, but this hasn't kept her from being the ruin of many creatures significantly more powerful than herself, even building her kingdom upon their bones. They say that, like Lamashtu, she strives to turn herself from a demon lord into a true goddess. She enjoys killing, but her favourite tools are seduction and deception. She only stoops to crude violence when there are no other games to play, and even then she backstabs from the shadows. Her favourite weapon is a crossbow, though a silk garrote would suit her better. If you should ever meet her, do not believe a word she says, and do not fall for her provocations. Do not try to beat her at her own game, and most importantly, remember, the worst mistake anyone can make is to underestimate her. Thanks for the information. I'll be happy if it helps. And finally, what do you think of the powers I gave you? It's a great temptation. I don't know if I should be trusted with such power. I certainly wouldn't trust myself with it. And when you have so much power, it's easy to decide you're a god and the mortals are your toys. Perhaps I should wait until we defeat the forces of the Abyss. But that's precisely what these powers are for. She thinks for a moment, then speaks softly. You take a great risk. I'm not sure I can handle the temptation. It's hard enough as it is. I have to go. I will be watching you. There we go. Got to know our new companion a little bit. She certainly is... I like Arueshalae. I think she's definitely got a bad past, but she's adjusting to it, to her new role. Arueshalae. A woman in gold-embroidered cleric robes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the colour of molten gold, gleam brightly in her dusky face. Greetings, Commander. My name is Arueshalae. I am a messenger from the Temple of Adabar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the defenders of the fortress could use the service of a cleric. Oh, you have a lot to say as well. Perhaps you've heard about the wound that sometimes opens in my chest. Are you familiar with this kind of ailment? Arueshalae quickly probes you with the skill of an experienced healer. So the wound is right here? And that it disappeared and reappeared. Amazing. No, this is the first time I've ever heard of such magic. What do you think it might be? I think it is some kind of demonic corruption, or particles of chaos from the abyss have entered through the wound into your body and made it so unstable. It sounds quite interesting, incidentally. Judging from the records of researchers of the abyss, stranger things have happened in this cursed place. Can you give me some advice on how to heal it? I am sure that you have already used the purification and chaos warding spells, and for obvious reasons you do not have the option of leaving the campaign and going on a long pilgrimage to various shrines. Since that's the case, keep a diary. Make careful and systematic entries about your well-being. If it gets worse, record the circumstances under which it happens. I'm afraid this is the only advice I can offer right now. I want you to try to heal me. I'm sorry, but I do not have the right to do that. A healer who makes a blind attempt to heal a patient who is not on the verge of death is an irresponsible fool. You do not seem to be dying, so we will not take any unnecessary risks. Thank you, it all makes sense to me now. Take care of yourself, Commander. You're an ASMR, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yes, I am an ASMR. Hard to miss, isn't it? I look exactly like my great-great-grandmother, but I am the only one among my kin to have ASMR blood manifest so visibly in my appearance. I have to admit that it is a very fortunate coincidence, My ASMR features are rather appealing and make people trust me more easily. This is a good quality to have for a priestess wishing to gather a congregation. I see that you have consecrated the altar of Adabar. So I have, and before you ask me why I did this when there is a temple of Iomedae in Drezen, I will answer. Even though my god is the ally of the inheritor, some still prefer to pray and trust in Adabar instead of her. After all, my humble altar is no worse at removing the corruption of the abyss than the grandiose altar in the temple of Iomedae. How did you end up in Drezen? My story has grown longer and longer over the years, yet sadly, it never gets any more interesting. I was born and raised in Absalon. Soon I realised that bringing the world of Adabar to places where it's already been heard was too easy a challenge for a cleric like me. I have travelled all across Golarion since then, watching civilization bring enlightenment to the wildest of places. This brings joy to my heart and makes me feel like I serve my god with my deeds and not only with my words. The tiny barony in the Stolen Lands that had been my home for a very long time eventually turned into a strong and prosperous kingdom, and I felt that I had to go somewhere else and bring the blessing of Adabar to someone who really needed it. It would take quite a long time for Drezen to recover and become the unfailing stronghold once again. I'll do my very best to help. What services do you provide? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. Even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them, I'll be happy to read it for you right here. However, take care out there on your travels. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll while you're on the move, you'll need a spellcaster whose magical training covers such spells, or someone skilled in magical devices. Tell me more about Adabar. I'd be delighted to. Adabar is the patron deity of law, trade, and the prosperity of cities. He teaches that law and order allow civilization to develop and keep people safe and wealthy. Iomedae and Adabar are allies, since Iomedae also holds order and nobility above all else. It's hardly surprising to see so many mighty fortresses and wonderful cities in Mendev bloom under her blessing. I could use the help of a cleric. That's precisely why I'm here. Do you have anything good to sell? Oh, you're the one now selling this sort of thing. The Red Salamander's Ring is good, and we would probably give it to Darren so he can have some combat spells. And the Ring of Pyromania, that looks good for Ember. Got some headbands. Battle Mage's headband. This headband had +2 intelligence, also grants its wearer a +2 enchantment bonus to charisma score. In addition, whenever the wearer of this headband lands a killing blow with a melee weapon, their next spell becomes empowered. Well, that seems pretty good for us, especially because we're using melee weapons and spells. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Let's look in the temple. Going around and talking to everyone always ends up taking longer than I imagine it will do. The place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the effects of corruption. I don't think there's much to see in here, but we will look. Oh. You learned something new from this book. What did we learn? Something good, I hope. The history of the world wound. +1 insight bonus to law, religion, and law nature skill checks. Both skills we don't use, but hey ho. Ooh. We won't try and pick it just yet. Anything in this book? Oh! I wish all the books that gave you skills had the gold outline, because sometimes just random books that you find will give you skills, then they look like nothing of any importance. That's good. +1 competence bonus against disease and sickening effects. So yeah, that's better than the one we just had, and yet it's presented as much more underwhelming. Okay, there's a couple things in here. Let's have a go. Nope. I should make it trickery. Use magic device. Trickery. There you go. hasn't actually changed the score. Okay, try a lockpick. That wasn't worth it. There you go. Ivy, come on, keep up. What about this other one? Shame, in this area we actually can't... Okay, we'll try that later. In this area we can't use our companions to pick locks, can we? At least there's no one to talk to in here. Let's go outside. I'm just going to carry on with doing all this. It might be a slightly longer episode. But I want to search all of do all the kind of chats around Drezen that we can. And then we can actually get started on, you know, going out and exploring and doing some of that next time. Make your way over here, Nest. We really should change up our inventory. We don't need... Scroll of Magic Missiles, definitely not that useful anymore. Ember, how you doing? Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wandering eyes linger on you just for a moment before darting off again into the distance. You have nothing to say. That's fine. Ivu, keep up. Social, do you have anything to say? Good afternoon, Commander. Nope. It's my pleasure, Social.
Careful now.
August. Are you aware of my special powers? People say a lot of things about you. They say that you can make a burnt soil of the world wound bloom with a single touch. That your very image scares away the demons and makes their strongholds crumble. They also say that you pick your allies from among the rabble because it is your sacred duty to try and redeem them. Perhaps I put it too broadly. Let me explain. People see your power and they also see that you are different from the other, more righteous paladins. You are softer, brighter, a bit frivolous, if I may. They see that you have little respect for rules and restrictions, and that gives them food for various thoughts. The Crusades have never seen a commander like this before. What if not all the changes, and people, you brought here are for the better? Given these sentiments, I would be very careful if I were you. It is very easy to get carried away with your games and turn the army into a farce. I have to go. Turning the army into a farce is my goal, I think. Where's Nenio? Maybe she's inside somewhere? One-eyed devil. A short, chubby tiefling with a golden eye patch spits chewing tobacco between his feet and takes another pinch from a tobacco box adorned with jewels. A fine day to you, Commander. Welcome to One-Eyed Devil's trading house. His proud manner suggests that each word begins with a capital letter, and perhaps even continues in capital letters as well. A trading house is just a shop. Ah, that depends. There was a time when I had nothing in my pockets but holes. But did I consider myself poor? No. I consider myself a rich man who was temporarily down on his luck. Optimism is important not only on the battlefield, Commander. You are the leader of a victorious army that will be chopping all the demons into mincemeat sooner or later. I am the owner of a trade empire, which, as you can see, is only starting to grow. I'm not going to ask that. We want tieflings on our side. Why are your prices so high? We're saving the world from demons, and that includes you. That's some claim. Did you hear that, good people? First of all, my prices are perfectly fair. There are no higher than you'd find anywhere else. Second, who's saving who here? Are you prepared to eat bark and fight with rocks and sticks? You know I have open contracts with dozens of suppliers. I arrange deliveries and do whatever it takes to get you sharper weapons, better magical items, better food. And you're throwing the extra expense in my face? This is just the thanks I get for honest work. What happened to your eye? Ha! I should make up a story about a heroic fight with a horde of demons. Truth be told, this is how it happened. Back when I was a snot-nosed kid, I had just opened my first business selling pies on the street. The local lads quickly took notice of me and offered me protection in return for a small share of profits. The usual, you know. But I was so young, inexperienced and greedy, I told them to bugger off. Well, they caught me and taught me a lesson. They took it too far, though. I paid for the lesson with my eye, not just bumps and bruises. It's funny to remember it now, but back then, while it was happening, I was so scared. I thought they'd beat me to death. I remember I came running home in tears, and my mum just started screaming. I didn't have a clue why, and then I looked in the mirror and saw that there were just shreds and mush where one of my eyes should be. I've remembered that lesson all my life. Ever since that day, when I start a business, I find some reliable business partners first. If I'd been born in a merchant family, my parents would have warned me about this, and about plenty of other things too. But I was a poor lad, so I had to learn everything the hard way. It's a miracle how many times I escaped death by a hair's breadth. In fact, it's lucky all I lost was one eye. I can afford a new eye now, of course, but you know, I just can't find the time. It will cost a tidy sum, and I don't want to take it out of my earnings. And besides, being the one-eyed devil is a big selling point for me. I'd be a fool to get my eye back only to keep it hidden under a patch. Show me your wares. Let's see what kind of thing you sell. Well, not that much in terms of weapons. We could get a Haramaki. Because that's armor that doesn't affect our spell chance. Although I think just having... Oh, a headband of charisma +4. Oh, that's good. You know what? Yeah, let's treat ourselves. We'll buy that. Treat ourselves and then give it to Darren. I think. Yeah, there you go. It means his mass heal is less effective, but having more charisma on him is a good thing. There's an inn. I thought the main inn was around the back here. The Half Measures Tavern. Oh yeah, so not Albridge, sorry, Greybor. Greybor's in here. Faye the Tavern Keeper, or Fee. Fee the Tavern Keeper. The boy sitting on the counter looks about 18. He salutes you with dignity, though his eyes scarcely rise from the tavern's leisure. The Knight Commander at my establishment. What an honour. My name's Fee Keto. I'm the owner of the Half Measure. How should I address you? I ask because some don't like undue familiarity, while others scoff at the tediousness of ceremony and titles. You may call me by my name. Deal. I know your name, of course, who in Drezen doesn't. So what can I do for you? Wine, a meal, a heart-to-heart talk? How is it that such a young lad owns a tavern? Before the siege of Drezen, the Half Measures belonged to a distant relative. I won't bore you with the details of how his family died. Just 3 words. Demon worshippers and sacrifice should be enough. Now that the city has been liberated, the authorities and Armade's church will be returning what remains to the lawful heirs of the deceased. They take these things seriously in Mendev. Fee suddenly slaps himself on the forehead. We started talking about the inn and I remembered. I wanted to thank you personally for defeating the demon in this very tavern when the city was liberated. Without you, who knows how many glasses he would have smashed before the Crusaders got to him. So please accept my thanks from the bottom of my heart. Oh, he gave us 15,000. I do accept your thanks. The Half Measure is a strange name for a tavern. Oh, that's a familiar story. That's a family story. It's not for the faint-hearted, but you're not one of those, are you? One day before the wardstones were erected, a peasant family got lost on their way to the fair and ended up near the borders of the Worldwound. They stumbled upon a bored demon who killed the father right away. He then asked the mother if she'd prefer him to take all her children or only half of them. The sobbing woman looked at her 3 darlings and said, half. The demon promptly cut the arms and legs off all the 3 children and said, I guess that's even, and disappeared. People across Drezen heard this story, after the family found shelter at the local temple of Iomedae. For many years they saved up for a regeneration spell so the children could be made whole again. They eventually scrapped together enough for just one scroll and decided to give it to the youngest child, a second chance at life. He soon became the tavern's first owner and called it the half measure in memory of his family and the terrible incident with the demon. He had a good life for a time, got himself married, and always planned to help his brother and sister, though he never got a proper chance. When the demons had Drezen surrounded, the poor cripples tried to run for their lives, but they died on the spot. The brother and his wife died a little later at the hands of deserters. There were rumours that the same demon that butchered the family came to Drezen and made a den of the half measure. If that's true, I guess he got what he deserved when you freed the city. That's the story. Faye shrugs pensively. Why'd you like sitting on the counter? 2 reasons, Faye says seriously. Drezen isn't the biggest city, but it still has a few taverns and pubs. To compete with the others, I need people to remember my establishment, and myself. That's the first reason. A tavern keeper who sits on the counter definitely sticks out from the others who prefer to stand behind their bars, all dignified. Believe me, you're not the first one to ask. Sooner or later, every customer does. The second reason is the place's atmosphere. People should feel relaxed here. Life near the World Wound is hard enough. Folks don't go to taverns looking to cause each other more trouble, so I allow certain liberties, myself included. I'm even thinking of hosting an invigorating brawl here on the 5th of every month. I'll let my favourite customers break glasses and swing on the chandeliers. What's the feeling here in the city? I can only tell you about my customers. They're mostly working folks, the ones who are rebuilding what's been destroyed, along with soldiers and some merchants. Overall, spirits are high as they can be in Mendev. Nation of rattling sabres and fluttering banners. Everyone loves it when the demons get their horns, tails and other parts handed to them. They've already forgotten that we nearly lost Canabris. War is like that. People live for one day, and that day is tomorrow, not yesterday. You've been a source of joy and inspiration for everyone as well. Just a simple girl, an ordinary human, not an elf with the wisdom of the ages, not an ASMR blessed by heaven. And yet you defeated the demons and thumbed your nose at the Queen's Knights. That's the kind of story people love. This calls for a toast, doesn't it? Indeed, drinks on the house. What do your customers say about my new powers? They talk about you so much that you could fill a hefty tome with theories about your birth alone. You may be the new Herald of Desna, or perhaps her daughter. You were born from a beautiful flower, or you fell to Galarian with the falling stars of Numeria. The earth blossoms under your feet, and water turns to ale. Incidentally, if this last one is true, please don't perform that miracle too often, or you'll drive down my prices. Forgive me, but your little dragon has caused a stir among the townsfolk. She pokes her nose in everywhere. I recently found her in a pickle barrel, and she scolded me for keeping yucky things in the basement instead of goodies. But I don't mind. Small and relatively harmless dragons do attract customers, and they cause a non-excessive amount of damage. Let's see what you have to offer. Anything interesting? Just a short sword. Goggles. Doesn't seem too bad. Yeah, mostly potions. Okay. Now, yeah, there's Greybor. How long have I been recording? I said it was going to go on a bit longer, didn't I? Let's chat with Greybor.
How can I help you?
Before you stands a dwarf. He has stern, rugged features and looks to be well armed. He fills his pipe with tobacco from Garund, lights it and blows out a cloud of smoke. Finally, he addresses you in a deep, dignified voice. Who are you?
Don't you remember our last meeting? The name is Greybor. I'm an assassin for hire. But I suspect you're not here for small talk. Are you in need of my services?
Still smoking his pipe, the dwarf offers you a cursory salute. You tried to kill that huge demon at the Battle of Drezen, but you failed. What happened?
Yes, that was a failure. It was supposed to be a clean job. An anonymous client, a worthy target, a substantial fee. But the client insisted that I use an enchanted dagger they provided. I was assured that a single hit would be enough to finish the job, but it didn't work as expected. It was a serious blow to my reputation. And my reputation is everything to me.
The dwarf's face grows grim. I want to hire you for a dragon hunt.
A large adult female? The one that's been snatching people and carrying them off? I've heard about her. That's an impressive target. I can take this job, but only if we do it soon. I'm expecting a new assignment from my regular client, and I'll have to leave as soon as I have the orders. And of course, you should know that this dragon will not come cheaply. 2,500 gold, paid in advance.
We're rolling in gold at the moment, so yeah, I'll pay.
Excellent. Let's get down to business.
Plus, I don't think I've got the persuasion to talk him down.
To take down a dragon when you don't have wings, so you'll need to follow my lead. The best thing would be to catch her by surprise in her lair, but we need to find it first. Of course, since she doesn't leave tracks, that might be tricky, but I think I have a solution. We need to go west of Drezen, to the Grimwood Forest.
Okay.
The dragon's been seen there often. According to the scouts, this is likely because there's still some wild game left in those parts. We'll set up an ambush there. I hope I can rely on your honesty. I understand that on our way to the dragon, there may be other fights or places we need to visit for various reasons. That's to be expected. However, should I see that you are deliberately delaying the contract, or that you're dragging me off to assault some demon citadel instead of going after the dragon, we will have to revise the terms of our agreement.
Okay. So that gives us Greybor in the party as well. I'll level him up later. We're not really going to use him much, but he can be our... We'll definitely get on with the dragon hunt soon. Want to be fair to him. Don't want to waste his time or have to pay him more money. So yeah, I think we'll go check out that last inn. I think that's where Nenio is. And then we'll go talk to Lan, and then that'll be it. But we'll go see if Lan has anything new to say. Or we'll go, let's look at the jewelry artisan as well. Gold Golem. Hello. Welcome to the shop of Darek Sunhammer, the finest jewelry in all of Mendev. True artistry, crafted by the master himself and his apprentices. Take a look. Oh yeah, there's more of this sort of thing here. I guess there's two sellers that do that. Yeah, nothing much in here. Yeah, we'll just finish looking around. This is the introduction to Act 3, so... And you get familiar with just the space that is Drezen, after all. This inn doesn't seem as good as the half measures. We won't break into that yet. Second floor. Oh, there's Hillhor. Ah, there's Nenio. Hey, Nenio. So, the experiment. Nenio gestures excitedly. I will need some supplies for this one, girl. Please bring me a bottle of alcohol. Any will do. And please hurry. Science can't wait. What kind of experiment? This will be an experiment of a personal nature. Nenio seems sheepish. But no less exciting for that, mark my words. Why would you need alcohol? I already told you, it's for an experiment. Hurry up and bring it to me. I brought you a bottle of alcohol. I brought a bottle of alcohol for you. Nenio snatches the bottle out of your hands and stares at it with all the covetousness of a seasoned alcoholic. Here it is, my path to learning the true values of humanity from the perspective of the lowliest man on the street. She produces a corkscrew from her sleeve and looks at it in bafflement. Then at the bottle. Then at the corkscrew again. After which she hands the bottle back to you. Open it. This experiment definitely won't work if we don't open it. Do you always carry a corkscrew up your sleeve? Don't be preposterous. But I am always meticulous when it comes to preparing for my experiments. I plan for every eventuality. Nenio sighs. Alright, I admit it, that's not true. But I have truly prepared for this particular experiment. What is this experiment going to be about? I am taking a huge risk with this experiment. I'm putting my reputation, my good name, and even my future on the line. With the help of this bottle, I will lower myself to the level of an average man on the street, and I will try to understand the mentality of someone wholly devoid of intelligence. You surely know, maybe even from your personal experience, that alcohol dampens mental activity and is a catalyst for stupidity. With a brain like mine, alcohol is the only way to find out how it feels to be an idiot. So you're asking me to be your drinking buddy? Not at all. I'll do the drinking alone. Your role in this experiment will include standing here and providing me with a visible reaction to my inevitable temporary degradation. You're talking as if you've never tried alcohol before. I haven't. I never saw the point of it. Fine, let's get started. Well, let's begin. With the steely resolve of a warrior going to his last battle, Nenio takes a big gulp straight from the bottle. Ugh, that's disgusting! After she overcomes the urge to vomit, she looks at you with teary eyes. How do you all drink this? I am doing this for the sake of science. Another gulp. That should be enough. Ugh. Now, am I stupid yet? Quick, ask me about something smart. Oh, we passed all these checks. How many arcane schools are there? 8, of course. Transmutation, abjuration, enchantment, illusion, and so on. By the way, did you know that there is one more so-called universal or common pseudo-school, and the disputes about the status of this school are capable of turning a quiet old university professor into a growling, spitting barbarian? It would appear I'm not drunk enough yet. Nenio takes another swig from the bottle. Right, it seems to be working. Now, I need to come up with an idea right now. I usually have a ton of ideas. Let's see now. Discari and Baphomet. Their anti-Crusader alliance is not effective enough. They need to unite their forces on the physical level. Baphomet needs to mount Discari and ride him into battle, 2 in 1. Yes, the experiment was successful. I'm definitely drunk. She takes another gulp from the bottle to further confirm her condition. So how does it feel to be drunk for the first time in your life, from a scientific point of view? Terrific! I have definitely become more stupid. More than that, I'm as dumb as a box of rocks, and right now I don't give a rat's ass about science. Wait, I think I've got it. That's how men on the street see science. They don't give a rat's ass about it. Who cares how many arcane schools are recognised by some Absalom professors? Arcane schools are over there, Nenio says with a vague wave of her hand, whereas the bottle is right here where it belongs. I hope you're satisfied now. Incredible! My intellect never stood a chance in its battle with alcohol. And what is striking, this fact doesn't bother me at all. It feels like all the thoughts in my head just went poof, then disappeared. My thirst for knowledge, my desire to prove myself, they're all gone. My mind is so calm. It's actually a little frightening. I simply must describe this condition for my encyclopedia, but I'll get to that later. I just don't feel like it right now. You're not going to drink like a fish from now on, are you? What? Of course not. How could you think that of me? Me, the greatest scientist of modern times. Nenio licks her lips with intense concentration. Fine, maybe a little bit, sometimes. No more than once a year, and only if no one sees me. I've got a reputation to maintain. Congratulations, I guess. Now what? That's for the experiment was a success. Just a moment. Nenio stares at you with glazed eyes, shakes her head, and exhales loudly. When she meets your gaze again, her eyes are crystal clear. Alright, I'm fine now. What was that? What was what? A moment ago you were drunk as a skunk, and now all of a sudden you're stone cold sober. Is that so? Nenio looks at the bottle in her hand, thoughtfully licks her lips, and nods. It seems that this is indeed what happened. Clearly I decided to forget the incident entirely, because I no longer need this information. What I need to write now is to write an article for the encyclopedia about the influence that alcohol has on an individual's mind. So you can simply forget you were drunk and sober up, just like that. That is an amazing ability. I have simply blocked the deleterious effects of alcohol from my mind. To put it in basic terms, I just forgot I consumed alcohol. The mechanism is similar to one I used to get rid of irrelevant memories. It's not overly complicated if you know how to do it. Your abilities are just amazing. Eh? What were we talking about? Alright, happy I could help. On behalf of future generations, I formally thank you for your assistance in this monumentous experiment. Now I have time to answer your questions. Come on, ask away. I haven't got any questions. I'm genuinely jealous of that ability. To just sober up immediately by forgetting that you ever drank alcohol. It's too good to be true, though. Let's listen in. The old Khalid told my brothers to me that on his deathbed, and then he died, and no one knows but us. I know this is their sacred forest where they prayed in the meadow of the spirits. Shamanic relics, you say? A big treasure? It sounds like a lie. Everything was collected, carried away, and buried in that cave. Oh, okay. Are we going to learn about some treasure? The scouts say a bear lives in those forests, a terrible one, and there must be magic guards in the cave. That's why we suggested you come with us. We'll split the treasure equally. Ooh, treasure, eh? Does that give us a new location on the map or something? Okay. Well, there's apparently treasure in a bear cave. Hillhall? Congratulations on taking Drezen, Commander. It's a great victory, though you paid for it with as much blood. Its smell still hangs in the air. I remember the smell well. The last time the air reeked like this was the most horrible day of my life, the day I nearly caught the Spinner of Nightmares. You keep trying to tell me about the Spinner of Nightmares, and I'm just not gonna... I'm not gonna indulge you. I don't want to hear the story.
Precisely.
From my memory, it serves absolutely no purpose. But every time you talk to him and he has new dialogue, he's like, oh yeah, this reminds me of the Spinner of Nightmares. Like, it's the only bloody adventure he's ever been on. Get a new adventure, Hillhall. Find a new conversation point, then maybe I'll listen. Right, we'll go see Lan, and then we'll have a break for now. And then we'll actually... I think we'll have to go back to the Crusader command and start the crusade, the Crusader part of this this section. Oh, don't forget to search every box. Ivy's not waiting for us. Oh, it's... do you have more to say? No, thank you. Okay. The actors are still hanging around here. Ivu. Hey Lan, how you doing? Got anything new to say? No, thank you. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, we can go look in this house. I don't think there'll be anything in there though.
Always watch your back.
Yeah. Got the initial exploration of Drezen out the way. We've hired Greybor to the basement. Huh? What was that noise? Was that you, Ivor, or was that something in here?
Careful now.
Okay. I'm just going to start making my way up to the Citadel, but we'll take a break there. I don't want this episode to be too long. But it's nice to have a bit of just downtime after all the fighting we had to do in the last bunch of episodes. Yeah, we've gone in everywhere. We've gone in the barracks. Turned that area into a forest. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to keep following this series as we go into Act 3, subscribe. I'll be posting things daily. And yeah, leave a like or a comment if you're feeling generous. I'm happy to answer any questions or if there's any talking points you want to raise. Yeah, very happy to do that sort of thing. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.